Hello, guys. Thank you for listening to The Messy Dr. Sue. Season 2. Imagine being stood in front of a high speed locomotive and you are frozen, solid to the spot. Now, how does that feel? Unable to move, knowing what is about to happen, and can do nothing to help yourself escape. Now imagine being plunged into this scenario several times a day. This is what it feels like for an anxiety disorder sufferer, or as close as it can be described. The only difference is there is no speeding train barreling towards you. It is unseen and comes from out of nowhere, without warning, crippling you in utter fear. Sound intense? It is. The unofficial description of anxiety is a disorder in which the individual afflicted feels an intense, irrational fear and an impending sense of doom or dread. What this means is that, in layman's terms, if you suffer from anxiety disorder or any form of it, that you will be confronted with paralyzing fear for no apparent reason that will make you feel as if there is no possible way out of it. And you can experience this unprovoked fear at any time within the course of a day. In addition to suffering from anxiety disorder, an individual may also have other common disorders that go hand in hand with it, such as depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, agoraphobia, or any other number of phobias that make it all the more important to seek treatment for. Knowing what causes anxiety. Short and sweet, everything and nothing. In most documented cases of anxiety attacks, the patient rarely reports any event that will have triggered the onset of the attack itself. Now, with that said, let me also explain that when an anxiety sufferer returns back to a situation or setting where a previous attack happened, this could trigger another attack, just because they'll be reminded of how terrifying that first attack was, and unconsciously be thinking about it successfully, triggering yet another attack. It's a vicious cycle of fear. And the greatest fear of an anxiety attack or disorder sufferer is to have another attack. Hopefully, this is beginning to make a little more sense to you now. Of course, the attack hasn't killed them and most likely won't, but it can sure feel like you're dying at the moment when an attack is occurring, though. So, the greatest determiner of having an anxiety attack is also your greatest treasure, your mind. Even though you can tell someone that is having an anxiety attack that it's all in your mind, this usually comes out leaving them feel you are trying to be condescending to their plight. Not a nice feeling, I'm sure you'll agree. Even though you don't mean it in that way, this is most likely the way it is received. To be more clinical about anxiety, it is, in fact, all in your mind. Because the brain is where all your anxiety stems from. Many studies have focused mainly on two specific portions of the brain that are responsible for inducing feelings of fear and anxiety. It is simply an unannounced trigger that sets off one's flight or fight defense mechanism, kicks in the adrenaline, and bam! A full blown anxiety attack is on its way forward. Many times, anxiety is brought about due to increased stress from daily life. Bills piling up, children seemingly out of control, pressure from work, family, and other events can trigger this disorder, bringing it to the surface of an otherwise dormant carrier of the genetic traits passed on by their parents. Anxiety is a regular and predictable part of life. However, if you suffer from an anxiety disorder, your anxiety can quickly take over your life. The good news is that there are small steps that you can take to help manage and minimize your anxiety. Here are some small steps that you can take today to help you better manage and hopefully overcome your anxiety. Take a deep breath. Breathing deeply triggers your relaxation response and helps you to switch from the fight or flight response to a more relaxed and balanced state of being. Inhaling slowly to the count of 4 and holding your breath for a count of 4 before slowly exhaling to a count of 4 can significantly increase your state of relaxation and calm your anxiety symptoms. Get physical. One of the most critical things you can do to cope with your anxiety is to participate in a regular cardiovascular exercise. If you're not in the habit of exercising, you can start by taking a walk. Take some time and create a list of physical activities that you enjoy and place them on your weekly schedule. Get enough sleep. When you don't get enough sleep, it can trigger your anxiety. If you find sleeping a nightly challenge, try engaging in a relaxing activity right before you go to bed. If your brain starts to buzz right before you go to bed, try jotting down your worries for 10 to 15 minutes earlier in your day. Say an encouraging affirmation. Reciting positive, accurate statements to yourself can help you put things in perspective. You can try telling yourself that anxiety is just a feeling, like any other feeling, to help you gain perspective over your anxiety symptoms. Avoid caffeine. Managing your anxiety is as much about the things that you do as it is about the things that you don't do. There are some substances like caffeine that can significantly exacerbate symptoms of anxiety. The last thing you need to do if you suffer from anxiety is drinking a substance that makes you feel more excited. Take a break. Building breaks into your daily schedule can be beneficial. Breaking from concerted effort can be incredibly refreshing. A simple change of scenery or pace or switching to a different task can be constructive. Anxiety can be incredibly overwhelming and can make you feel as if you are being pulled down, like you're drowning. Taking these small steps can help to minimize your anxiety symptoms and help you effectively cope. Now let's talk about relieving your anxiety. The horrible thing about anxiety is that the very feeling makes you even more anxious. It tends to create a feedback loop that can leave you feeling helpless and trapped, which leads to you feeling even worse. If you suffer from anxiety often, Here are some quick ways that you can start to relieve your anxiety. Make yourself comfortable. The first thing that you need to do when you are experiencing anxiety symptoms is to make yourself as comfortable as you can while the feeling passes. It is important to remember that your anxiety will pass. So you need to try and concentrate on making yourself comfortable, both emotionally and physically. Use calming self talk. If you are like most people who suffer from anxiety, much of what you say to yourself when you are experiencing anxiety actually causes you to become even more anxious. To help relieve your anxiety instantly, tell yourself calming phrases like, "This feeling will pass," or "I am feeling anxious now, but soon I'll be calm." Acknowledge and accept your anxious thoughts. When you fight the anxiety, you are only making it stronger. On the other hand, when you can accept that you are feeling anxious, can help make the anxiety go away. Facing your fears is a great way to get relief from your concern quickly. You can try this powerful anxiety treatment strategy to learn how to accept your anxious thoughts. For 10 minutes, make yourself as anxious as possible. Try to get your anxiety to increase to the highest level that you can handle. When your anxiety level reaches a 10, try to keep it there for at least 5 minutes. You will probably find that you can't keep your anxiety at a high level. This kind of exposure technique has you facing your fears to the point where they vanish. Distract yourself. An effective way to put your mind at ease and relieve anxiety is to distract yourself from the thoughts that are causing your symptoms. It is tough for your mind to focus on more than one thing at a time. If you find something that you can focus intently on, your mind won't be able to maintain the anxiety for long. Use relaxation techniques. Relaxation exercises and techniques can help to reverse the stress response in your body, which makes relaxation your body's natural cure for anxiety. Start by using a quick relaxation technique that can help to induce the relaxation response. This will help to counter your body's stress response and reduce anxiety symptoms. Dealing with the onslaught of anxiety can be incredibly overwhelming. Using these 5 techniques can help you quickly relieve your anxiety and get on with your life. Now, before we end this episode, let's touch about treating anxiety without medication. Unfortunately, too many people who suffer from anxiety are put on prescription medications that aren't doing anything to help them manage their anxiety and might even be causing them more harm. Fortunately, there are several ways that you can control your anxiety without resorting to taking a bunch of prescription medications. Here are some tips to help you manage your blood sugar naturally. Maintain stable blood sugar. Now, although we are Malaysians, we tend to go on diet following the Western diets. And Western diets do nothing to promote healthy and stable blood sugar levels. And every time we experience a drop in our blood sugar, we can start to feel anxious. To maintain your blood sugar levels, you need to incorporate plenty of proteins and healthy fats into your diet and avoid sugar and refined carbohydrates. Once again, avoid caffeine. You can't underestimate the relationship between caffeine and anxiety. Caffeinated beverages amp up our nervous systems, getting us ready for a fight. Try to reduce your intake of caffeine gradually to avoid any withdrawal symptoms. Within a few weeks, your anxiety symptoms should start to decrease. Get enough sleep. Your best protection against your anxiety symptoms is to get enough sleep at night. You can start to get better sleep by reducing or eliminating caffeine, work on maintaining your blood sugar levels, and find ways to relax before you go to bed. Get more exercise. Participating in more physical activity on a regular basis is a great anti anxiety alternative to prescription medications. If you struggle to fit in regular exercise, start by taking a brief walk outside or participate in simple mini exercises from the comfort of your living room. In general, you need to try to sit less and stand more. Try to get up and walk whenever possible and lower your standards for exercise. Yoga and Tai Chi are incredibly beneficial for anxiety, but you need to find something that you enjoy to increase your odds of sticking with it. Finally, increase your magnesium intake. Many people are deficient in magnesium. You can supplement your magnesium in a few different ways. You can take a daily magnesium supplement, try a topical magnesium gel, or enjoy a nice relaxing Epsom salt bath. Anxiety can have a significant impact on your quality of life. Finding natural alternatives to prescription medication can go a long way toward reducing your symptoms of anxiety. By making simple changes to your lifestyle, you can stop anxiety and finally get your life back. Now, this is the end of this episode, and thank you for listening to The Messy Dr. Sue.